Hey there everybody, GideonstActical here. I'm super pumped for this little knife we're going to be checking out here today. This is the TOPS Tactical Steak Knife. This is a great little either EDC blade, utility knife, maybe tactical, or just a little survival knife that you can either go on light hikes or backpacking, or to pair with your larger knives, either a big massive TOPS, maybe like a moccasin, or maybe a Rat 7 or your RTAC 2 or BK7 or 9. This will be a great pair for that. Give you the basic specs really quick. You got an 8-inch overall knife, 4-inch blade, 4-inch handle, made out of 440C. This is my first fixed blade 440C knife. Rockwell hardness 58 to 60. It is a stainless. It has this coating, as you can see on here. It doesn't really need that coating. It's just probably for reflective purposes, to keep it tactical. 440C does not rust. It's a great stainless steel. You got full tang. You got the micarta scales right here with some jimping on the top. They're bolted in. It is fully enclosing the tang, so the tang is not exposed through the handle. On the top and on the bottom, the tang just goes right through the middle. No lanyard hole that we'll see. Kind of holds it back a little bit from chopping. Great amount of belly. Great tip. It's 5/32 thick, so just over 1/8 of an inch thick, and just does a great job. With all those different tasks that you would put it through out in the woods. Utility around a campsite, wearing it on your LBE. Just for popping open crates, cutting open things that you need to, and maybe a little bit of self-defense. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on throughout this review. The only thing I would say is, if you can see this here, the handle's pretty thin. I don't really care for that. I would have liked to see it just a little bit thicker. It does fatigue my hand a little faster than, say, some other, this 4-inch kind of area knives that are maybe a little bit fatter. It is definitely a thin handle through, but it has plenty of length. You can see there, plenty of room to spare. It just feels really good, really good in my hand when I use it. So, and you got to love those micarta scales. Just an overall awesome blade. You won't regret using this baby. So let's do some field testing. We'll end on the tabletop, and we're going to have a great review here, so stay tuned. All right, here we go. The TOPS Tactical Steak Knife, TSK. 4-inch knife, just over 1/8 of an inch thick. It is going to be able to do some light batoning tasks that you would need to do. If you need to split some wood, get some kindling going. This is dried pine. You can see there that without too much difficulty, it's really, going to town. Splitting some of that lighter wood. It's by no means, a BK2 or something like that. But, that's a big piece of wood right there. Maybe I found it laying on the ground, whatever. I got a knot down here, and I got to go through it. This little knife has enough blade length to be able to span some pretty good pieces of wood. Get another one here. This is a big, nice chunk piece of wood. I'm going to go straight through the middle of this. And it's going to be able to split that stuff without too much difficulty. You will split and baton well with the tactical steak knife. A lot better than some other those really light little knives, out there on the market. This is going to baton. This is a big old piece here. We're going to see how it does. Line it up with a knot. Let's see. Come on, baby. You can do it. Yeah, come on. Boom. I went right through a knot right there. I just broke that knot in half. So the Tactical Steak Knife by TOPS, TSK, does a great job with light to medium batoning. Definitely can hold its own with that little 4-inch blade. Awesome little job that this TSK just did. That's what I'm talking about. That's a feather stick right there. Nice. Feels comfortable in my hand. It's not fatiguing my fingers or anything like that. Does a great job slicing, particularly once you get to the meat of the wood. Very comfortable. You can see there, man, just hair popping sharp. Shaving all the way around this thing. Oh yeah, baby. can see as I do this, this is not a great chopper. This is fresh. This is just deadfall, but it's like fresh, still green. And this just isn't really a designated chopper. I mean, you can clear some brush, but it's just not, it's not what it's built for, not what it's designed for. It's just not a good chopper. You can see there I'm really having to put a lot of effort into it as I'm chopping, trying to cut these branches off. I mean, it'll do the job and it'll clear this type of stuff without any problem. You can see there. But particularly if it's dead, I mean, you're going to have a really hard time chopping. So the Tops Tactical Steak Knife really isn't a chopper by any means and or stretch of the imagination. All right, everybody, here we go. The Tops Tactical Steak Knife, TSK. Great little just either day hiker, bushcrafter, light utility, you know, to tag along with your big Tops knife or your RTAC 2, Rat 7, you know, BK9, whatever. Just carry on your hip. Just do light tasks. You know, this thing is really impressing me, regardless if it's some light batoning, carving, whittling. Just does a great job with all those types of tasks. And it's so lightweight, so comfortable to use. So I'm just going to kind of show you some whittling with this now. I'll get out of the picture so you guys can watch what you're here to watch, the TSK in action. And you can see this thing bites in really well when it comes to, you know, whittling and carving. I mean, it just slices with, I mean, like no effort at all. And I mean, I can easily, you know, make a spear or something. Very comfortable in my hand, fills out my whole hand even when I'm wearing gloves with a little bit of room to spare, which a lot of those, you know, mini light survival utility knives just don't do. They're really, the handles aren't comfortable or they're really small. This one, you know, it's not fatiguing my hand. I can just go to town on it. And you can see there, even if I do a reverse grip, which I love to do, you know, and when your hand gets kind of fatigued, I mean, you can do that no trouble at all. Actually, it's biting in super big. There we go, there we go. It's biting in really deep into this wood as I'm carving it. And that 4 inches is perfect for, you know, light stuff. You're gonna span a lot, get to do a lot with it, and just a great overall knife for just your you know, tasks, whatever you're gonna need to do. The TSK rocks, and man, I definitely highly recommend it. Grab one of these TSKs when you can, or as soon as you can. If you like those light utility or survival knives, man, whew, this thing is a monster for its size. It does so much stuff. I love this thing. You can see as I use this Tops Tactical Steak Knife, you know, I'm prying really hard with this. Just kind of show you the strength of that tip. I mean, this is a great utility blade. You can be able to dig, pry, and just really penetrates rather well. I'm getting probably about 1 inch into the wood when I stab really hard. And just, you know, penetrates not too badly, particularly for, you know, a drop point knife like this. And the blade design really lends itself to be an amazing wilderness utility knife, not necessarily the best tactical knife. And even as I'm stabbing, and that's what I kind of wanted to talk about, you know, it's called the Tops Tactical Steak Knife. As I stab, you know, this is very comfortable grooving right here. This kind of finger guard works really well and is very comfortable, you know, if I'm doing my carving and whittling and doing all those type of things, cutting open my steak, all that sort of stuff, and feels very comfortable in your hand. But because it's so smooth and so gradual, when I'm holding it in a reverse grip and I go to stab, my hand tends to kind of want to almost come down on the blade if I'm stabbing really, really hard. And particularly if I'm holding it like in this type of format and I stab, it may have a tendency, I might slide up and really cut myself, hurt my tendons, you know, slice open my glove, whatever. And so I would say this is definitely not necessarily the best best tactical knife in the world. Sure, any knife you can put in that format, you can stab someone if you have to, but this would not be my military go-to, fighting knife, basically. It's just not designed for that with this handle as well as with the tip. I mean, it does penetrate relatively well, but it just lends itself to be a much better slicer than stabber. So overall, I mean, just awesome. I mean, I love using this blade. This is going to be my go-to light utility survival knife. I mean, it just does so many things so well. Just want to talk briefly about the Kydex sheath that it does come with. Tops makes great Kydex sheaths. Most of them come with this belt loop, which at first I didn't really care for back in the day. I would prefer a BLADEHQ lock, and I still do prefer a BLADEHQ lock over this belt clip, but this is a very strong belt clip. You can get that over any normal belt, as well as it's thin enough to fit through MOLLE and lock into MOLLE with relative ease, and is really nice and strong. Got that kind of little hook down here, so it's not coming off when you carry it. You click the knife into place, boom, no rattle, not coming out no matter what you do to it. This knife is not coming out. The clip does rotate 360 degrees, and it's nice and strong. You do have, I believe, a screw down in there. It's a bolt to hold it in place, so if you did want to take this off completely, you could bend the clip, unscrew it, and then I'm sure somehow you could run a BLADEHQ lock if you really wanted to with this particular sheath. Then when it comes to for deployment, it has a little bit of a thumb ramp right there. You grab it, you push. You do have a little bit, you do have to do kind of a walk up to then use the knife. Your hand sits right about here when you push it off, but that's not a big deal because I would say this is not really the best tactical knife in the world. So for utility use, it's awesome. I love just carrying it kind of on my hip, right in the front, by my front pocket, so that I can easily pull it out, grab it, use it, put it back in. It's just awesome. And with that weight, super lightweight. Overall, the Tops Tactical Steak Knife is an awesome blade. I love that 440C. It's held an edge well. Haven't had to do any type of resharpening. All those type of things. The Tops Tactical Steak Knife is a home run in my opinion. Grab them while you can. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.